Hello there, Chris. Hope you could hear me loud and clear.
Hello there, Chris.
Okay, testing the mic. You can. To thank whoever's going to join me. This is an impromptu live. What I'm going to do is put together a 3A3D chassis. Real easy to do. At least make a live out of it. We'll see. We'll wait a little bit, see if a couple of people will start filtering in if they see me. I don't think Dave is doing a live. I checked his channel. It's already past 6:30 my time, which should be the same area time zone as him. So, hey, HSF Racing, how you doing? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this live because I don't see him doing anything. I hope I don't interrupt or cut into his time if he decides to go late. But we'll just wait for some people to filter in. So this is more like an instructional type deal. I'm just going to show you how I basically put together the chassis. So I'm going to put myself on camera. So if you could see me, I'm going to basically, well, let's see, let's raise that up a little because you got chopping my head off here. Hold on a second. Let's see. I'm going to put that up a little bit more. So what I'm basically going to go over is how I put these together. I did do a video on, you know, your introduction, how when you get the kit, what to expect, what to do with it, the small things that I do. But I'm going to do one on camera. I'm going to put one together on camera. I have a chassis that we're experimenting with for a body that we're developing. So I'm going to do that one. I printed it in blue because usually I'll put test chassis in different colors just to kind of cool. And we do have more cars that are coming. And we're really trying to get into more, well, I'm saying that we're trying to get more circle track cars that I think everybody will enjoy. And when I get the Harry's next month, we'll talk about it more, which I think it'll be really cool and a lot of fun. I think people will be interested in it. Frank Sista, whoa, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Just received the Camaro, great job, you guys. Tried to use NSR 50x8 wheels too wide. Did you get the version 1 or version 2, Frank? Because version 2, even version 1, should be able to put 15x8 wheels. That's what I have on this one right here, 15x8 wheels. And these are the NSR, gosh, I gotta look. I think the 19x10s or something like that, or 19x8s, something like that. But that's what I have on there. They should work. And should be no issue. And let me check something here. Everything okay out there? Dee Dogs are acting up. Sorry about that. I'll leave this open just in case. You may hear a dog once in a while. She gets a little cantankerous, but all right. So what we got here? Chris, Gina, how you doing? Or Bruce, sorry. You gotta change your name, man. I don't know where you get that on it, but I always tease you about that sometimes. Tad, how you doing? And of course, Chris, HSF Racing, Frank. Version 2, NSRs aren't flush on the rear. Just a little wide. So yeah, because you have always a sidewinder. So are they fitting in like that? Because this doesn't have a problem. And this should work. See, you get the main thing that a lot of people got to understand is you got to make sure you have no fouling of the tires. So when you put these cars on the track, you should be able to push them nicely by hand like this. See, depending on your gearing, but you shouldn't feel any resistance. And usually you'll feel resistance when it starts running. It'll hop or do weird things. But I mean, I don't. And it should sound nice and smooth like that. You'll know when you have dragging and stuff like that on the car. It'll be pretty obvious. So hold on, Frank. Let me look at something for you. I gotta find the little package, which is way over here, of course. I hopefully don't waggle my camera so much. So I'll tell you, Frank, what tires I use, so you can kind of help you out. 15x8 wheels should work. There should be no issue. That also depends how much you set your interior in there. You got to make sure you set your interior in there right. And I was using the 21 5x11s. I think what these are right here. Yep, these should be 21 5x11s. Let me look at these ones. Yeah, they're Frank's. They're the Evo. Well, they're Ultras. Evo Ultra 21.5x11s. What I was using, Frank. So, when is the Mustang be back in stock? Soon. The other one's all sold out. We're currently printing some cars right now. I have some here on my table here, and we're getting them done. So, get them while they're hot when they go on the website. Because they go pretty quick, apparently. I was kind of shocked to find out they had been sold out in a few days. So, with all that being said, we're going to go over to the bench. Take you over here, move the camera. As you see it moving around here, and I got my new poly car over there. I'm happy with that, the Emerson one. Emerson Fittipaldi. Here's the Bessie workbench. Thanks. Tire width could be it. Yeah, if you have them too wide there, Frank, you're going to have problems with it running on the inner fender well. So you have to, you know, it's kind of, you have to kind of figure it out sometimes on yourself. I know if the urethanes were, you know, if you use urethanes, we're using the 22 125s, which fit fine. But I'm here at the bench. So can everybody see pretty clearly what I'm doing here? So pretty much you could see everything. So this is all the parts I'm going to use. John Cook, how you doing? Selling out is a great thing for you. Well, we'll hope so. I hope everybody likes them. I mean, we gotta wait to get feedback too, because the feedback will come if something they don't like or something happens. I've only had one issue with one car, which all it was is I forgot to include the front decal headlights. That's really it. And then on a dirt tracker car, somebody said the body was, he showed me pictures of it, but it's questionable because he mentioned he got bodies from another place, and this is before we did the current version that we have now. Is an old version, but you know what, to satisfy the customer, I sent them a body and a whole chassis and a kit just to be, you know, save face. No, you're not, Stalker Wild Man. We're just going to get into it. So this is a new type of chassis. I won't mention what it's for. So here's the pod. Of course, I painted it. I printed it blue. I didn't paint it. I printed it. So this is basically what you get is the chassis, a guide. If Oscar will still provide them. There's only a limit to the mounts. If they're not, you have to buy your own guide. This is the running gear I selected. Let me get my old man glasses here because I can't see too close up front anymore. So this pinion gear is a this pinion gear is a 6.5 diameter. Okay, so there we go. 6.43. It's 6.5 basically. Okay, and then we have a nylon. This is all slotted stuff. 34 tooth gear. The blue ones are 34. The green ones are 36, and the purple ones are 38. And they have other sizes, 32, 31. They're different colors. This is the ones I'm dealing with. Now this is important. Cool. Waiting on parts and you see after rolling in, and then cool. So this is what's really important. So this is a, let me count these teeth because I don't remember what the hell teeth are on here. Let me get my little marker here. Where are you? All right. So we got, I usually have to count these teeth is I use a marker and mark one tooth because it's kind of hard to do. You know, kind of like sometimes figure out if you're in the same spot when you count. So I get a marker and I mark one tooth. So that's my number one tooth there, right? I'm trying to keep an eye on Mark. How you doing? Keep an eye on the comment section because I don't have a camera in front of me. I should get my iPad, but there's no room here. So here we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is an 11 tooth and a 34 gear. So you see how these mesh together right here? That's important. You know, you have the right, you know, meshing on it. And also the diameter of the gear is for this particular one. Now, if you were to use a, excuse me, which I have here, this is an ergo gear, so an aluminum gear. You're going to see that That does mesh somewhat decent, but the problem is that this pinion gear will be too big and you cannot slip this gear on here. So this type of gear would take a 5.5 diameter pinion gear, as you can see right here. This one's not even, see right there. So this is a 5.5 in diameter. This is the diameter of the pinion. So you got to be careful how you select or what you select. It's up to the user what they want to, you know, put into the car or what gearing they want. Excuse me, goodness. And again, it's, you know, the builder's choice. So I just want to go over that. And also, if you go to the catalog online, which, you know, I have a catalog here. Thank you, Eric. So if you look in the gears here, see, so here's the Sidewinder spur gears, the Ergo light gears, and you have the aluminum light plastic gears. So this gear is an 18 millimeter gear, and this is an 18 millimeter gear. But again, the size of the pinion are what are important for you to match them up to, you know, get them to fit together. And I'll show you that when I'm putting the car together. This is it's a real good catalog online, and it goes over the pinions as well. Where are the pinions at? Should be right here. So here's your pinions. So you got 5.5 and 6.5, and of course you have your 6.75, all depending on how you set it up. And then you have Ergo aluminum gears, it looks like here, 6.5 with different teeth diameter. Go online and look at this stuff, and you can select your gear. Now if you find, you know, you want to use like another brand like Sideways, how would you say, Scale Auto, man, go for it. You just got to find the right gear to match it. So what we're going to start out with, and we'll see if we make a lot of mistakes here, is what we do is when you get the kit. Now this is important. I've discussed this on the video that's on the Stock Car Corner website. That's pasted on there to kind of under the description of the car. Watch that video because it kind of goes over this. So this is a 3/16 chainsaw bit just a sharpening bit, and this is what we use to clean the holes out, because the bushings are 3/16. This is what we use for scratch building. They're the flanged bushings. So what you're going to do is you're going to get this in here, and you're going to kind of just spin this in there, and you're just getting all the material, and you're making this hole, opening it up, so you're kind of reaming it. And the reason why you do that, if you put these in there, they're stiff, and then you glue them in, and then you put your axle is not going to really have a nice free float and spin. It's going to bind, and that's important that you do this first. And these things are cheap on Amazon. I have the links all on there on the video on the Stock Car Corner website under the description of the car. When you purchase it, watch the video. And again, we go on this side and clean it up just like that, and you have them cleaned up real simple. So now you get your flange bushings, right, and you just put them in here, and what you want is some movement. See, there's a little movement there. That's fine. You don't want them in there stuck real hard and not moving, because what you're going to do is you're going to glue these in there when you have the axle inserted into the bushings. Reason being because this way you'll align it so it's nice and aligned as you glue them in. This is a little tricky, but you know, I'll show you. Now you see how nice that slides back and forth? You know, that's what you want. Now for glue, excuse me, my throat's bugging me a lot. You could use a thin CA glue. This stuff is, you know, Anderson's, or not Anderson's, but Bob Smith. Anderson RC is where I got this from, which was real expensive. So you better get it online. But you know, it's a hobby business. They have to do this. So basically canopy glue. And this is really thin. You could use a thicker one or a thinner one. It's up to you. So I'm going to use this for the holes, because the thin one you could use for the outside of it, and I'll show you. Here's the glue. Okay. And then we're going to get some of these right here. These I also posted on there on the video. There's a link on that. This is from Amazon. You get a bunch of these for really cheap, like 10, 12 bucks. I took one out of here, which were the green ones. And these are like little miniature applicators is what they are. Disposable micro applicators. I don't know if they use it for makeup or what the hell they use it for, but it's, you know, that's what it is. I'm looking at the screen here, making sure if I don't miss any comments. I'll try and check as much as I can. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to glue these on, and I have myself some oil, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to get some glue. Of course, don't get a bloody crap load of it. Sound British there. What you're going to do is you're going to get a swab on here, swab that in, swab this in like that. This is nice about these applicators. Put that off to the side. Okay, and put this bushing in. All right, put that bushing in, and I'm going to slide my axle in here so it won't. Yeah, see, there I go, making mistakes. See, everybody makes mistakes. Here we go. So I'm going to glue them in like that, and then what I'm going to do is add a little oil just in case I got any glue on there, and make sure nice to slide nice, but slide back and easy, just like that, and then glue them in place. Right? See? Nice and easy. Now you know if they're nice and easy like that, you're good. Hey Clearwater, how you doing? So that's how I do that, and then what I'll do is I'll get the thin CA glue, or you could use this glue, whatever glue you can. I'll get the applicator again, and what I'm going to do is wick some on the outside here. Now that's why I added the oil here, in case I get any glue spillage, right? It doesn't go and fall on the axle and then stick the axle to the bushing, and then you're sitting there struggling with it. You know, we don't want that. So I'll get the thin stuff, and this stuff is really thin, so let me see about getting something to capture it in so I don't make a mess. Because like I said, it is super thin and I have no little container. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to use this thing here, because you know what, I'll use this lid here. So I don't care, because it's just a lid. I'll just put it back on. Okay, and then I'm going to get, and of course that hole is plugged up. And go figure. Let me see what I could do about that. I haven't used this glue in a while. There we go. Okay, this is super thin. You see how thin that is? I'll get a little here, and then I'll kind of go right around here and wick it around the bushing, because this should go in there. And you could do this if you want, or just leave what you have in the hole that you put it on. And see, I'm just doing it right on the outside here, so it glues everything onto this pod. Now here's something you could do. Say you know, this pod later on, you know, you need to replace it and you buy another kit, you can repurpose these old bushings. See, I got the oil in there to keep it from sliding. And you could get these bushings out by heating them up. So you heat the brass up and you push it with a little screwdriver, will pop out. But once you glue them in there, they're really kind of set. You don't want to, you know, try and unglue them and try and reuse them, because I don't know if the heat, you know, will at one point distort this, and you'll have a problem. So that's how you do that. It's really simple, not hard to do. You could do, I can do it, you could do it. So now that I have that done, 1 second here while I wipe this off. There we go. This back over here, a little lid. Okay, now you have that in there. Just let those dry. See, you got that oil on there, so this is sliding nice. You don't have to worry about sticking to the bushing, you know, if you got some excess glue on accident. Just like that. Okay, we're going to put that over here. Leave that here, and we're going to get the chassis. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to use a little drill bit. See if I'm looking at the comments here. Need beer. Be back shortly. All right, Clearwater. David, UC Slot Cars, how you doing, sir? I'm just looking at the comments now. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. How you doing, UC? I should put my iPad here, but I'll try and keep an eye on it. So you get yourself a little drill bit, you know, equivalent to the 2mm grub screws you're going to use, and you just get this and just get a little bit of the material out like that, and like that, gently. And come under here. Yeah, no problem, you see. And like that. And right here. You can use the grub screw if you want to make this hole, but I'd rather you do a little drill bit. It's totally up to you if you're experienced with it. Now I also have 2mm tap, and what I usually do is I just run it just a little bit just to start, because the grub screw will dig into the rest of the plastic, because this is really shallow here, so you need much. You don't pull out, you untwist it. That's important. You don't want to do that. And go to the next one and just start it. You'll see material coming out. If you want to go all the way through, it's up to you. I usually go part way and then I come out. Okay, and then come over here, do the same thing. All right, come out, untwist it, or unthread it out. Again, don't pull this when you got your hole threaded. Untwist it out, because otherwise you ruin the threads in there. There you have it. There are your holes ready for your grub screws. We use 5mm length grub screws, so 2x5s. And then what I'm going to do is, this is a regular, slot invasion guides for like NSR slot 8. It's not like the Reba ones. The hole is smaller, and you see it's a little tight. So what you do to take care of that is you get your rat tail file, right? And you're going to go like this, and you shave it down a little, right? I hear you. So we do that. Just clean it up a little. And what you're doing, you're just filing the hole down. And you're going to get your, see, it's a little bit tight still. So you just keep filing a little bit at a time, Careful, don't do this. Or don't get it close, because you'll miss and stab yourself. Not like I've done that before. I'll go like this, small strokes like that. All I'm doing is cleaning the hole in the material, taking material off, so this way the guide goes in the hole nicely. And there you go, getting a little better. And you just keep working at it till you get it nice movement out of it. I like good movement out of it, because obviously you don't want a guide flag hanging up or locking on you. And it also makes it easier when you put your wires on there and you do the little spring to return to center. When you make them looped, the wires loop, so this way it returns to center, and this way if the car deslots, it's back in center and it's easier to put on there. See how nice that is? That's getting a lot better. So I'll get a little bit more. You see all the material here from the other stuff I did. I'll just keep filing. All right. And here we go. Nice and easy. Perfect. That's it, and it falls out. That's what I do. So here you go, your chassis prep. Now here's the other thing here. Now that we have this all nice and glued, see how nice and easy that is? That's nice and centered, and it removes nice and easily. So we'll put that over here. There's our bushings. They're all in, ready to go. Look at that, dried up, all good. Now the next thing you're going to do is get a little flat file, and you see these areas here, that's from the supports. You're just going to make these a little smooth so that they kind of float nicely on there and move around nicely. You don't want them to be hanging up. All right, you can even go right here a little if you want. It's up to you. See, that's looking. Oop, got a little bit of glue on me there. Still kind of wet. That's okay. But you do that, and you just want to. So you can get that material smooth. And again, just file it all the time and clean it up. And get on the front. I'm just cleaning the material. That looks all right. You're just trying to make it smooth, Nothing complicated. And you could go further, if you want to file all the way around, that's up to you. Some people will do that to make sure nothing rubs on anything. And then you put it here, and there you go. There's your float. Nice, moves nicely. Then what we're going to do is we're going to tap these holes here where the pod screws go. Of course, I'm going to get 2mm tap, and I'm just going to tap them just like that. out. And I'll show you the screws I use for the pod. And right here. So you guys, so you're aware, so the kits that will be coming out next, Steve from Slot Car Corner and Bob have put together a cart to where all the recommended supporting parts that we recommend, will be in a package. So this way you don't have to individually hunt for the part on the website. So it'll be in one area there. It'll be right where the cars are sold at. And there'll be a link to, saying, hey, here's the motor, the gear set, the screws, blah, blah, blah. And, what goes with this to make it work. Because a lot of people will have a hard time going on the site and then they have to hunt for the individual parts. So Steve and Bob are trying to make it easier for everybody to get what they need right away and hit it in one shot and get it done. Grip and Rip Racing, how you doing? So I got this all, filed out like that. So that's all good. There you go. And then your screws will be these right here. These are these are from Slot It. They are the CB 54B screws. They're like a big flat pan head like screw with a big head, big headed screws. I'm not going to put them in yet because what we want to do now next is get the motor in here. Real important. So, motor of selection for these cars are the Predator ball bearing 22.5. I think it's a good motor. You could put whatever else you want in it. That's totally up to you. Because people have their own proxies if they want to make IROC races and go by their specs. And this is the motor we call the Jolly Rancher motor because of the green M bell. Reminds me of a Jolly Rancher candy. That's what it's been nicknamed by Harry. And no need to shave anything here. They just basically snap in like that. Excuse me. And you can see it aligns nicely. And the axle clears this can. The earlier one that we had when we first started this was rubbing, so we had to adjust it. We didn't sell any cars to anybody in that condition, but the people that tested it, a couple guys found it, so we took care of it. But there you go. Let's see, checking out the comments. Question, UC Slot Car George. What the trays top left on the screen with the pinions square and square. So those were made by Dave. So these are like little holders to hold gears and stuff. Dave made these because you could get. We made our own. Dave made his own on Blender and did this. You can't get this from another another website that makes it. I think it's FC Slots or something like that. He makes something like this. The one that sells the new rolling road that you can put the controller into. I forget the name of the website. It's pretty cool stuff. This is something we made for ourselves just to have. It's not nothing that we're selling. It's just something we made to have for ourselves. This is a filament printed, so you could see. Put my gears, my pinions. So of course, if I was to toss this, everything would come out. So, but it's I don't have little kids around here digging into my stuff or animals climbing on here. So that's what that is. So hope that helps. John Tucci, how you doing? Clear one. I'm struggling getting filament wheels and tires for my. I'm gonna try some with these stuff now. 24 is too big. All right, cool. Soccer Cub, how you doing there, sir? So I have this as an example motor here. Usually this should work. So I'm gonna do this as a test fit. So if I put this in here, if I can get it in here, all right, and I'll get my axle, right? So this is, there it goes. This is probably the wrong gear, but I'll check it out. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So here you go. Oops, got that crop screw in too far. Open that up. Here we go. So there you have it. So that, to me, is too much play. So this ain't really the right gear for this. See how that much banging around? So, but this is just a motor I put together for something else. So I don't like that. It'll probably work, but we're going to use the gear that I have here, which I think is, as you can see, it's bigger. So you get a lot of slop there. So this is not really the correct gear. This This one I believe is 5.5 instead of 6.5. This is the problem you run into when you get the wrong gear. Yeah, it's a 5.5. It says 5.3, but it's 5.5. So I'm going to press this one onto this end, obviously not this end. And then when I have it pressed, I'm going to cut it so it's, doesn't hit the tire and wheel. So I'm going to put this in here and I'll just run it down. So I'm going to use my slot invasion press here, which I like this press, gear press, one of my favorites. And put it in. Sometimes this could be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but you just get used to doing it more and more. It's not too bad. So I'm going to get my gear. Yeah, it's going to fall off into my hand. Let me get this here. All right. Line this up. Let's see, I'm trying to do this to... There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to line it up. All right. You can see me screw up here. All right, there we go. Lay it on the hole there. So I want it in my blind, well, not my blind hole, but the hole that's in there. And then I'm just gonna put this in. It should go in nice. If you feel any resistance, stop. There it goes. Go about that far. I'm just doing a guess. If I need to go more, I will. There you go. Of course, when I get it set, obviously if this cracks or you mess it up, you'll know this will pull right off. So you got to remember, when you start, moving the gear around and these can crack. Usually when you have a cracked pinion, what happens is it ends up going like this. And then you'll know, you'll run in and go, because the pinion is, cracked and the shaft is spinning on the inside of the pinion, not grabbing it. Just a little tip there in case you run into that. I've had that happen with these gears. So then I'll put this in place. Another thing to remember, this is going to pull this a little bit forward when you tighten it too on these pods. See, there's a little gap there. So I'm going to put my screws in first just to, simulate it being pulled up, because if I do it now and try and check it, it may change it when I thread it in. So you're going to see the gap there, and then it's going to pull it up more. That's what you got to keep an eye on. This is the little details, and that will happen. It's plastic. There you go. See the gap there? See this little gap here? See how there's a gap? And then I'm going to tighten it. It's going to pull it in more. See now it's pulled this bulkhead more up onto there. So now I'm going to get my gear. I'll slide it in there, and there we go. Pretty much centered. And that's a nice fit, see? Remember the other one, how much it was moving? So depending on the diameter of the, of your pinion to the gear and the size of the gear, 18 millimeter and 6.5 millimeter, that works nice. So this is a 1134 gearing. So 1134 ratio. Let's see what that gives us. That's why I love this home racing world piece I have here, which you could pull out here and you can see your gearing. So I don't memorize all this. We got 1134. So it gives us a 309 gear ratio, which will probably be good for an oval track, because this is meant for the oval track. Hey Marty, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. So there you go. There is our mesh, and it's nice. It's in the center. I think it's good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hack that off, because obviously when we have our tire and our wheel, that's going to interfere with it. So we want to clear all that. So I'll probably flush it out. So I'm using 15x8 wheels. There you go. There you have it, guys. That's your gear. Nice and smooth. It should run real good. And so what we're going to do now is oil that. That's why it's a little tight. Put a little oil on that. Not so damn tight. Good and tight. get material all over it. There it goes. Anyways, here we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is take this out, take these screws out, and I got to cut this. And I also got to cut this end too, obviously, because that's going to interfere with the tires and wheels, which you don't want. Rubbing is no good. I mean, rubbing is racing, of course, but not in your slot car gearing components. So, okay, we're going to get that out of the way. So I'm going to do is cut this off. I got my little Dremel here. I'm going to go over to the garbage can, so if you see me off camera, you guys don't need to see me be cutting stuff. I mean, it's just like everything else. As long as you hear no screaming or pain. So I'm going to cut the end of that pinion off, or not pinion, the pinion shaft on the motor. There we go. All right. Shave that off, nice and cut there. I'm going to cut the other end because I don't need that protruding end sticking out. All right. Okay, cool. It's all good, boys and girls. There we go. See? Cut there. That's flush there because I don't need it sticking out. So now I'm going to put my motor in here. All right. I'm going to put my screws back in. And get it in there. It's in the hole. It's in the hole. Remember? Bill Murray and Caddyshack. So every time I say that, when I get the screws in there right. Oh, yes, there's comedy here tonight at Area 51. And go here. And here we go. All right. Guten tight. Guten tight. Okay. Put my axle in. See? All right, cool. We're good. Maybe a little bit tough, but you know, when you start working this in, this will wear in there. So there you go. So there you go. There you have it. We know the gear is lined right in the middle. Looks good, even with the wheel there. And then what we're going to do is, since we already tapped these 4 holes, we're going to go ahead and mount it on the chassis if you want. Up to you, how you want to build. Everybody's different in building stuff. And then we're going to get these big fat-headed screws and start one if I can. Sometimes it's be a pain in the butt. All right. All right, all right. And steady, 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 steady. Oh, missed it. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay. Here's one. Thank you, UC Slot Cars. I appreciate that. I'm trying to be neat. Sometimes it can be sloppy, trust me. Especially with the resin side of things. That gets really messy. Especially when you have a failed print. God, failed prints. I hate failed prints. There we go. Hold on a second. Again, it takes patience to do all this stuff. It's, you know, say Rome wasn't built in a day. Here's that one. Excuse me. You get this one. And there you go. And you can use whatever type of screw you want on here. If you want to use something smaller or a cross tip one, that's fine. I'm just using these because these look pretty nice. Though it is a pain in the butt because they're, you know, a flat bladed one, and yeah, everybody doesn't like flat bladed screw heads because they're a bitch. There you go. A little float on there for now. Usually I'll put tape over this to access the suspension, obviously. Question, George, what is your ratio of failed prints? I haven't had one in a month. So now that you mentioned, Jerry, thanks. I'll probably have one screwing up right now as I'm printing. So probably today, since you mentioned it. So, but I haven't had one in a month and a half. But I also change the film every 60,000 pulls, like the machine warns you to. A lot of the guys won't do that, and then they'll be, oh, just keep using it. And then when they have a failed print and it rips and it goes into their screen, then they're crying about it. It's like, yeah, the curse is real, buddy. You know that. So I'm going to put my axle in here. Or, yeah, put my axle. I'm going to put my gear. That looks pretty good right there. Obviously, I'm not going to cut these axles. This is a test car. When I'm ready and I do everything, I cut the axles. But for now, I'm just doing it this way. That's why I use the 15x8 insert wheels, so that, you know, I can put whatever I want later. There's my wheel there. Now I'm going to be using the FF. I don't know if you guys know what the FF means. You want to know what the FF means, boys? Make sure there are no kids in the room. We refer to this as the fat fuck tire. That's basically what that is. Fat fuck. So that's a fat fuck tire. Excuse my language because it's YouTube. So it's an FF tire, and it will be a little bit bigger, so I may have to shim this out, but again, depends on your body. This type of body that I'm using on this will fit a fat tire, so I mean I have a lot of room to move here. So, you know, I'm just doing this just to show you. But so I'll just put these on there for the hell of it. Let me see. Using my tools here. I know it was dirty what I said. I'm sorry. Oh boy, I'm running low on power. That's great. My phone would be doing that crap right now, so I may have to unplug the mic and put a charger in it, because I'm using the charging port as where the mic goes. There you go. There's your first part of that. And it doesn't take long to do these. That's why Dave, Harry, and myself, you know, we're talking about, you know, if we ever design something of a plastic chassis so it's easy to put together. Now we're going to start with the front of the axle. So we're going to get our grub screws and we're going to put them in. And a little bit of resistance, but that's fine. Remember, that's why I want them to be a little tight. If you do tap them all the way, a little bit easier to go in and stuff. So it's just, you know, better. And to me, it's better to do these. So no more lock nuts for the pod. George, just set screws. I mean, you can use whatever you want, Chad. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not understanding. So you're talking about these? I mean, you could use what you want. They're just self-tapping. I know what you mean. You mean putting nuts on the top. You can do that, Tad, if you want. People do that. I don't. The plastic will hold them on there forever. You know, it's not a big deal. So it's totally up to the user. Like I said, you could use a nut on the top if you wanted to. Now, as I'm doing this, just remember, as it gets tight, this is real important. Make sure you have a good tool and that this is not rounded, because if this is rounded, you'll strip the head and the end, and then this thing will be stuck in here, and you'll be up a creek without a paddle. So just keep that in mind. That's why I tap them just a little. You could tap them all the way through, because I do want some tightness, because you know, I don't want them to be moving around. And then I'll do the next one here. See, because the screw will tap into the plastic as you hear it. There you go. There's that one. Go in a little bit more. I'll put the axle in, you'll see. Lines up. Get our other one here. The loop at the front is a good design to help protect the guide movement. Yeah, Dave really wanted that in there. That is a Dave design, which he's right, because he was telling me about it. I go, yeah, I agree with you. We always talk about, you know, to make the chassis better and where we're at with things. So yeah, you're right. This is a real good part of the chassis to help protect it and limit the guide from, you know, completely flipping and locking. It does help. So, yep, you're right, sir. You are correct, sir. We'll put the other one in. Here we go. You have some flashing there, just, you know, just clean it off and whatnot. Let me get that one in a little bit more. Okay, there you go for that. And then what we'll do is we'll get our other axle here. I always use the slot invasion axles. I think they're the best. Look at these axles. I mean, look how polished they are. This is why Oscar, to me, has the best axles. I use them on all my cars, even scratch building in these cars. I just think they, to me, they're just a better axle in my opinion, you know, but it's just me, my preference, what I want to do. The reason why this ain't going in is because I have them too far squished into each other. So there we go. There you go. There we go. Now here's another thing. So, being that this is moving back and forth, you could do two things. You could use stoppers and put stoppers here, and it'll hold this in place, or you could use shims. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use stoppers because I have a lot of stoppers that I purchase, which is kind of ridiculous, all the stuff I purchase half the time because it's a lot of stuff. Here's my stock of stoppers. I'm going to get a few 30-second ones, of course. Let's see, I'm reading the comments. I don't see anything new. Hope I didn't miss anybody's comments or questions. I'm trying to keep an eye. If I didn't see your question, I'll go back and look. I think I already answered a few of them that a few people asked. So, okay, so here's my stoppers. And what I'm going to do is just lock this in place. Keep the axle from moving around. Lock it into place. Again, you could also use 3/32 nylon shims, which Lockhart Corner has, in different colors, indicating the size of the nylon washers, or spacers, you should call it. There you go. There you go. There's that. And again, there's these too. You could use these too if you don't want to buy those. It's your choice. I'm All Right by Kenny Loggins. Yep. Talking about the little was it the little gopher? When I remember when what's the damn freaking that guy? So hilarious, Rodney Dangerfield. That dolphin stole my golf ball. I think he called it a dolphin. I can't remember what he called it. And they did. It was a dolphin noise it was making. That's why he said dolphin. So that's that noise that they made. It was a dolphin noise. So there's the front axle. There you go. We're almost there. Look at that. Pretty cool. I like it. Same we have our guide. I'll put that in there. Now this is what I do with these guides. A lot of guys don't like the set screw method, or they'll put them in and they'll use the ferrules. I personally don't like the ferrules. That's just me. But you guys do what you want. So this is what I do, and Harry taught me this, and I've been doing it ever since. So I get a drill bit, you know, obviously a 2mm size of the grub screw that I'm going to use, and what I do is I drill a hole here. Just hole right in here, you know, just like that. I've used it on all my builds doing it this way because the guides or the wires don't pop out or don't come out. And it's, you know, again, you could use a ferrule if you want. I hate using ferrules. That's just me. Then I'll put another hole here. Right there. And these things are real robust, so, you know, you just screw them in. There's the hole. It's in the hole. There you go. There's two holes. There's a method to my madness, gentlemen. So, clean them out, you know, however you want to clean them out. Flashing out of there. Okay, so I do this because what I do with my lead wires is it's in the hole, I know. Now you don't start that again. Yeah, I know. Everybody's bringing up Caddyshack, so I love Caddyshack. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I think it's the best golfing movie ever. So I'm going to get my strippers, strip this, right? Strip it a little length, obviously. Not too short. You'll see what I'm doing here. Like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder these. Okay. Let me get my soldering iron heated up. And I'm going to get my solder and my flux, paste flux. All right. So I throw crap all over the place. All right. I'm going to let my, which I have down here. This is a, not a cheap soldering iron. It's a Hakko. So you don't need an expensive soldering iron. I just got this because I could. And I have a real one that I use for scratch building. That's not a Hakko. It's a different brand, and it's served my purpose. And then what I do is I get, make a mess here. I get some flux, paste flux. I kind of coat the wire like this. Get a little dabble, do you? Yeah. Everybody can remember this line from Saturday Night Live. You like the juice, huh? You like the juice. So we get the juice, put it on here, and I went to driving range, figured out why they had the netting over the golf cart. Yeah, see him get whacked. So I let my iron up to temperature. Oh gosh darn it. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna coat my wire here with solder, just like that. Now here's the thing that I do to put it in here is I get a pair of these pliers, right? Regular old pliers, come over here, and I flatten it. Right, just flatten that out. It's nice and flat. And putting a grub screw to this will not do nothing. All right, man. See you later, Stock Car Hub. You take care, man. Thanks for coming by, Shane. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, bud. Take care. And then I'm going to do it to the other one. All right. Just like that. Put this off to the side. I'm going to smash it like I did the other one. Use the flat end, obviously, here, not the graded end. I'm going to smash that. Right. Excuse me. And I'm going to get my braid and put it in the hole. I won't say it again though. I may have to though. I'm having a difficult time with this now. Ah, darn it. Kind of curled up. It's not in the hole. And this is what happens sometimes. So use the other end here. I'm doing it again. Gosh darn it. Usually this goes in easy. It's just being a pain in the ass today. And that's not working. Okay, well, get another piece because I can always cut another section out. This one's a little bit wide. There you go. See, it's supposed to go in like that. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll fold this down here. And I have an opening right there, right? So this is going to be my red, which is the left side. I'm going to slide it in here like that, okay? And I could push it up a little. See where I have that? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my 2mm grub screw. And Slotted does this too. They do it from the front or the top. I just think this works better this way for me to just keep them from. And then I'll just. You can't tap. You can tap this hole if you want to. I didn't. The set screw will do, and then I put it in like that, and here you go. See, now I'm pulling this a lot. That's going to be hard to remove or hard to knock off, and that's what I do to these. This is just my preference. If you have a little bit sticking out like that, not a big deal. It's not going to kill anything. You can cut that or move it up more. I probably should have cut that down a little, which I didn't. See, got a little piece sticking out there, so I'll just pick it up. And I can cut that off a little if I want. And move it up. And just like that. Probably should have chopped it off, but that's okay. See, now it's not sticking out as much, and that's fine. Not going to do anything. Don't get everybody freaking out, you know. Saying, oh, you're going to short your track out. Some people get all carried away that way. Of course, I'm using this copper braid from Stock Car Corner. You could use the real thin stuff. Depends what you want to use. This is a particular car or vehicle. I'm going to use this stuff instead. This is just a preference that I'm doing for this particular body and build. And grab me a fresh piece. Hopefully it won't get all weird like the other one did. There you go. Went in there perfectly. So that's how it should go. Why was it being so damn stubborn? I have no idea. Okay. And back. Like that. Right there. Sorry for hitting the camera there. Hughes, how you doing? Red to the left. We'll finally remember that. You cracked me up, Shane. Thank you. Hughes is here. How you doing, Hughesy? So here we go. We're going to go into the left with the red and the right black. So here we go. But it also depends, Hughesy, the type of motor you're putting in too. Sidewinder will be different and depends on the motor and stuff. So there you go. Those are not going to come off. I'm yanking this pretty hard. So this is what I do. You don't have to do it this way. You could use the little ferrulets if you want, the little ferrules, or you could do like this. Slot It has done this. They've done it from the top as well. If you look at some of their cars, this is, to me, this is assurance that when you're in combat, as Harry says, and you're running your car and it gets nailed or something, these are not going to pop off and they're not going to give you an issue. That's what I do. Totally up to you what you want to do. Now what we're going to do is put these babies in here. And put this baby in there. And there you go. Look at that. Made them long intentionally so I don't cut myself short. There's the red little dot. That's where the red wire goes, so that should be correct. But I'll just check it to make sure it's going the right direction because I made that. Not that I haven't made that mistake. But anyways, let me get a screw. Well, that sounds very naughty. Let me get a screw. Let me get one here for the slot measuring guide. And let's see. Ah, that's the one. All right, there we go. Get a little wassa. Excuse me. I hear my throat a lot. Little washer, wassa, whatever you want to call it. And we'll put this right here. And get my cross thread. That's not the cross thread I want. Damn it. Here we go. Oh, you guys are seeing this right. All right, and put that in there. There we go. A little tight, like a tiger. There we go. A little bit more. There you go. All right. Should be fine. And loosen that up. That's still a little bit too tight. Now I feel like this is still a little tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that hole up more with my rat tail file because I don't like that. It's steamed a little bit too tight to me still. And I want it to be, how would you say, loosey-goosey. So that way this will flip to center when you bow your wire, so when your car deslots, the guide goes right to center. So when somebody's racing or whatever you're doing, they take it off, it goes on the slot easier instead of being slanted and they're going like this trying to put it in. It's just something that just makes it easier. And plus you want the guide to have real nice movement when you're, running your car. All right. If I didn't miss any questions, where are the best place to buy 3 tools? These tools, a little handy drills. Amazon, Hughes. Hughes, on the Slot Car Corner website where they sell these Trans Am cars, there's a video below there in the description, and I explain what tools to get, how to get the car, when you unpack it and all that stuff. And it has all these tools listed in there, little files, little drill bits, inserts, stuff like that, and little things like that, small tools. The chainsaw sharpening tool, which is what we use for the bushings. I'm going to recheck this, so you can check that out. It should be there. And now that I filed it down more, I'll put it in here. I think that may be a lot better than what it was because it was kind of getting tight, and I don't want it to be too tight. All right, you hear guys say that stuff, huh? I'm talking about guides though. But anyways, try that out again. And that's a little better. See, when I do this, when I want to make these little loops, kind of want that to return to center, which is doing it right there. As you want, but like you can never have enough cordless drill swing. Yeah, it's a guy at work I know that has a lot of them. So here we go. So now we have what we have here. So let's get the tires out. These are the 2216 FFs. This is typically the short track tires that we use for Home Racing World for the proxies. These are the FF tires. I would explain what they were. Of course, you see how big they are. And again, when you true these, that flashing you'll remove, and then you could true these down flat to where they don't interfere as much. But I'm going to put the tires on so you can see what they look like on here. See, See how much that is getting near there. But again, remember these have a flashing to them when they're, made. Flashing meaning this stuff right here. Obviously, this is the inside of the tire. When you put them on the truer, you could true this down. Either you want to go all the way flush or just, bring them down a little. It's totally up to you how you want the look of the tire. And I'll put these right here. And put this one right here. Now, of course, these aren't trued. That's basically what, chassis, as you could see, that's, hitting that. So obviously you're going to true these. All right, UC Sawcars, thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. You have a good one. There you go. There's your chassis assembled. And, of course, you're going to put your lead wires. So red should be red. This should be the current, obviously the correct orientation. If it isn't, just flip it. Sometimes that happens. Depends on the motor, but this one's marked with a red indicator. So I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to piece of that off. I'm going to solder right here. Let me trim some more off there. That was a little bit too much. There we go. I'm going to get my solder, and I'm going to pre-tin these. Always pre-tin your wires. I do that all the time. And there you go. Pre-tin. Excuse me. And there you go, like that. And then you get some paste flux. I always use paste flux. It just makes the solder go a lot better. So don't be stingy with your paste flux. And of course, get more solder. And then you're just going to sizzle that on there, baby. Just like that. There's that wire right there. Just like that. Well, I'll run this on the track with untrued tires. It won't really handle well on this track because it's really a circle track car. And then what I'll do is I'll pull these out a little so they don't rub the chassis, because obviously, depends on the body you're using, how far you could go out with the tires. So I'm going to do this. So let's see. So I can always blue tack that or put something there. So I'll go about there. Get this here. Just like that. It should be, cut a little bit off. Too long. There we go. A little bit poo-poo there. Some poo-poo. All right. Here. All right. Put a little bit here. All right, boys and girls, and then we'll get our wire here. There we go. I got fooled there. Had to wait till, there you go, till it cools. I did it too soon. There you go. There's your lead wire. There's the car. So that's it, guys. Put your oil here, and then your bushings in the front here, and then oil on each end of the motor. You could put some of the silicone grease on here a little bit. So I mean, it's just different things of ways of obviously lubing it. So I'm going to move this out a little, obviously, because just run it the way it is. And again, the tires aren't trued. So see, that'll clear that. So let me, of course, these are 15 by 8 wheels, so they're a little bit narrow, but the 22 166 FFs will fit on there. It's just a wide booger. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. I can't do that. No, I cannot do that because I don't have a spacer. Duh! So, again, I forget that. See, here's the thing. I'd have to use spacers anyway, so that ain't going to work. See, this moves out. So, we can't do that, but I could use stops or nylon washers. Up to you. I'll use stops. I should have got stops out because I'm just temporarily doing this so we could run it. That's why I pulled it out like that. But again, once you get everything set, it'll all work. Pox and Wills, how you doing there, sir? So I'm getting another 2 spacers, which just, this is a test chassis. I won't obviously be using spacers on this. Not these big ones. these aluminum lock collar type ones. I'll be using just nylon ones because they're cheaper. Those lock collars can get very expensive if you just use those. And so what I'll do is I'll get this. All right. Looks a little ridiculous, but we're just testing. A little bit of gap there, so not too tight. Let's get that a little bit in more. There you go. Don't want it too tight, because it'll be hard on the car and the motor. Darn you, George. All right, so we'll lock these in place. There we go. Let's see where we're at here. There, you lock this here. Okay, there we go. So nice and free, not binding. Except for these are. Alright, so we'll move these out a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit fat. Obviously this height of this ain't going to be correct either, because it's probably going to not stay in the slot too well. And because that's what the axle adjustment height for, but you have to true these tires first and then set your height. And there we go. So obviously not true. And you could tell, you know, see that's what you want. Return to center. I'll have to position those later. So I'll put this on the block. You know, obviously that's way too high because the tires aren't trued. And of course I could drop the axles, so you could drop the guide. So question, do you sometimes use a capacitor across the motor? No, I do not. That's for noise. So when you have like toys that create, you know, issues with noise, like a radio or something like that, you know, or pacemaker maybe. That's why they have those. I'm gonna pull these down more to bring the you know, pull it down more. And obviously, you know, these have to be trued, and you're going to take material off, and then you set your axle height. So that's why you true the tires first. So I'm just going to do this just to show you that, you know, you could draw it down. You could adjust the height. I just want that to. Yeah, see, not any better. Actually, I went the wrong way. What a dummy. You big dummy. Went the wrong way. Duh. Supposed to go this way, not the other way. But you can see how you could adjust it. Once I made that mistake there. And duh, George. Gosh, man, what were you thinking? You should have noticed that when they were coming out like that. Okay. Let's see, pop that up. I just bottomed it out on the axle, and then I loosen it a tad like that. A little bit more. Just had hitting a little. It's hitting on the chassis there a little. Anyways, you just see. I said it's not gonna run that great because you got to true the tire. See, now we dropped it down. So, oops, sorry, we dropped it down. Oh, but I was showing you that on camera before. My God. So, I mean, it'll run somewhat decent, but not the greatest. And then we'll check our, make sure we got it going the right way. So we got it, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I may have mixed that up. I don't know. Can't tell. Oh no, I got it the right way. All right, cool. All right, so I got it the right direction. Oh, yeah, I do. Just couldn't tell. All right. All right, so that's the assembly of the 3A3D chassis. Now, obviously, using rubber tires and whatnot, these will have to be trued. This probably won't run that great on there, but we'll put it on the track so you can see it. You get an idea, you know, what it's all about. Thank you, I appreciate that. See you later, Tad. So we'll put this on the Area 51 track here. It's probably, like I said, it's not going to run the best, but that's how you put these cars together. All of them are similar with the Sidewinder design. Inline's not any different. Same thing except for it's inline. This is it right here. So let's go on the track and putter around with it, which we're probably exactly going to do is putter around because it's going to have some rubbing issues in certain areas. Appreciate showing us your... Yeah, no problem there, Eric. I'm glad you enjoyed that silliness that I have here. So let's see how terribly it goes around the track, because obviously it's not tuned, not to the greatest amount of where it should be and for the potential of it. As soon as I can find my other glasses, and they're not here. Those are those. As always, I don't know what I did with them. I think I left them somewhere else. All right, here we go. So yeah, she's a roller, baby. It's like that song. It's a roll. She's a roller, a high rolling baby. April wine. And again, you know, the tires aren't trued, obviously. Oh, and it goes right into the other slot almost. Oh, it didn't. Oh, no. Except the other cars took off. So, let me go over here. Obviously, it's not tuned very correctly. Or whatever you want to call it. And but, yeah, there's your roller. And then, of course, the body is easy to put on because we made the mounts into the bodies. But there you have it, guys. That's the that's your roller. So just again, you know, just showing you guys that this is the reason why Dave, Harry, and myself would develop these chassis, is because if people don't want to scratch build, then they could do this and have a nice, cool body, you know, American body. Dirt track body, you know, Challenger, 55 Chevy, and then now we have the Porsche, which we're still working on. Here's the Porsche. This is the tiny little car, a very tiny car. And then, of course, the Corvettes, which will be out next week at Stock Car Corner's website. These are available, and the coupes are available. The convertibles are not yet available, which they will be soon. But a lot of this is just to make it easier for people to enjoy a slot car and put it together. And again, you know, it's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this for everybody, and so does Harry and Dave. Again, this is not no money grab. Trust me. I just make the money to, you know, put it back into making more cars. You know, having more bodies develop, and the material and all that stuff. It takes a lot of time to do this stuff. Resin printing, as some of you guys know, is not easy. Jerry would know that. And Pistol Pete, but once you get it down, it's rewarding. But again, this is how easy it is to put these chassis together. So you can see the stream's been going on for what, an hour, maybe a little longer. That's because I've been talking through all this. But there you have it. Any more questions? Because it's 7:48, and I think I'm ready. Thank you, Frank. Thanks, Marty. Yeah, that's the whole the spirit of the kit, is to get it, you know, have your parts, have it assembled in, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour at the most. And then you know, get your body painted, which takes long as always to get your interior, all your details. And then you put it on here and you got yourself a car. And the chassis are durable. They're PLA plastic, made in the USA. This is a United States American made product, as the materials are in some way, are not all of it, but it's made here in the U.S. No tariffs. I'll bring that up, sorry. But hey, this is why we do it, because we like to see the builds out and being posted online. There have been 2 guys that have asked me about doing proxies and stuff with these, and you know, I've sent one gentleman a kit for free so he could try it out and see if he, you know, likes it, and he could order more from Steve. But I kind of do the gifting thing is basically so if you guys don't know, John DeLorean is, obviously everybody should know through the cocaine incident he was in, trying to save his DeLorean Motor Company. But John DeLorean was the developer of the GTO, the original GTO. And so what he did to save the car, because at that time it was illegal for their corporate rules to put a engine larger than 330 cubic inches in a medium-sized car. So they made a 389 for that car, and they built it in secret. So what he did to save the car so that people would order it, he drove it around the country to each dealerships and kind of introduced the car and told them, hey, take it out for a drive, tell me what you think, and put some orders if you're interested. That's what he did to secure the car. So that's what I kind of do with these chassis. I kind of send, in kits, send a gift here and there, have people try them out. If they like them, they get them from Stock Car Corner, go into the dealership. So this is basically my motto, what I've done with these and my logic. But anyways, but Pistol Pete, how you doing? I'm glad you guys liked it. I have stickers. I have shipping out hopefully. Oh, cool. Yeah, I need some 2 lines. I got UC stickers here. UC Slot Car. I got Slot Journal. And of course, I got Home Racing World, Shotgun Dave's, and then mine. And I got this from Slot Journal, which is the Dinosaurus Rex, or Slotosaurus Rex, excuse me. But yeah, and I got to find a place for these. I just don't want to just stick them anywhere. I want to find a certain spot. So yeah, it'd be cool to get some 2-line stickers if you want to send some. And but there you have it. See if there's any more questions here. Hughes Garage, I see. Oh, I thought you were about to throw it in a bag of Coke. All right. Oh, Hughes, that's a good one, dude. Bag of Coke, I like that. I like how you think, man. I think that way too. A little cynical and little jokes are very good, Hughes. I like your humor. Love it. Well, guys, if there's not any more questions, I hope this helped you out in some way, and you've gained something from it, taken away something from it. But again, these chassis are easy to put together. The Trans Am kits will be available soon. Give us about another week. I'm still getting them together, and I'm trying to get them out there as fast as I can since the other one's sold out. There will be some Corvettes available. So there'll be the Roadster type racer model, and then there'll be the coupes available, the kits. So those will be out next week. Convertibles, not yet. I'm still trying to get those printed. So again, there's more cool stuff coming. And we'll announce that more on the Home Racing World about what we want to do. There's 2 classes we've been talking about. This is one of the classes. I think a lot of people will be excited about this one. And there's another one that's cool too that I showed on a small short. So check out the short and that I just put up lately. And that'll kind of explain everything. So, but as always, that's it. Really appreciate you joining the live. Thank you very much for supporting 383D and Stock Car Corner, Harry and the 3 amigos and Dave and myself. It's really well appreciated. Hopefully we could get more good stuff out to you and just move along and improve on our product, and hopefully everybody have a good time putting them together and running proxies and doing IROC races or whatever they want to do, or have some at home just to have fun with and make on your own. So as always, thank you guys. You take care and have fun racing.